Never chase success.
Without my title, without my position, without the company, who am I as an individual?
Was there a personal moment in your life that made you embrace this mindset?
Having the best resources, being in a country that people say is full of opportunities, I'm like, where is it? Whatever success we want is not out there. You have to work inwards to get it outward. So unless you don't know how to change the narrative inside of you, you're going to be the same person. It's not lonely at the top. It's lonely all the way to the top. The question is, are you ready for it? Are you really ready to take that journey all alone?
What's that one lesson from your experience of over 2 decades that you would like to preach to every young aspiring professional out there?
Make sure you're not dependent on motivation.
A lot of people out there who believe they're doing everything right are still not able to achieve much in life or meet success. What would be your advice for such people?
There is a 20-80 rule. Your 20% of your success is because of your skills, only 20%. And 80% is because of the person behind the skill, which is you. Use your powers. There are 2 types of powers. Again, I repeat, internal and external. You have to know how to tap your powers. Without that, the game is at zero again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of the Sunny Shah Show. Today we have a renowned executive leadership coach, an Indian American, who is challenging the status quo. She has a phenomenal list of books that she's authored, and we are very proud to have none other than Payal Nanjiani on our show. Payal, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Sunny. It's such an honor to be here with you.
No, the honor is all mine. Payal, I couldn't stop thinking the minute you wrote to me about today's topic. Never chase success. Now, in a world that's full of ambition, full of promotion, how does this mantra hold true?
I think it definitely holds true more today in this generation that we are than it ever was, to be honest. And I think this is something where each of us need to reflect. We need to take a pause and really see where we are going. Because even in my own personal life, if I was to talk to you, there was a time when I started off as an HR, in the HR field. And there was a time when I was wanting that next position, that next title. I wanted to move ahead in my career. And I was consistently just behind them. Like, I cannot even emphasize when I'm saying I was behind it, right? And I remember I was in New York. I had gone for some office work. And from there, when I came back home very dejected, my husband asked me, he said, what happened? You look as if the entire world is on your shoulders. What's wrong? And I said, you know what? I've done everything that I could in this role. And I was passed for the promotion. There was somebody else who got it, who I felt was not even half of doing what I'm doing. And I said, I'm just, tired. And he said, tired of what? And I really liked the dialogue me and my husband had that day. He said, what are you tired of? I said, I don't know. I'm just tired of working. He said, I don't think you're tired of working. There's something else. And I just had to take a step back. And I was wondering, if I'm working hard, if I'm doing everything right, why is somebody else going ahead of me? Why is it that I have to keep hopping jobs and I'm not getting the job that I want? What's going on? And then I took some time and I clearly remember 3 questions that I asked myself. Number 1, what does success actually mean to me? Number 2, where exactly am I headed? What is it that I am looking for? And number 3, without my title, without my position, without the company, who am I as an individual? And I think that made me realize that I am definitely chasing something. I don't want to be like that deer who has that sweet smell that it radiates, but at the same time is circling around finding where is that smell, and then automatically leading to its own death. So that's, I think, where I believe that don't chase something which is already inside of you in plenty.
I want to know a little more about it. So, how does this mantra of yours, don't chase success, differ from having ambitions in life?
No, absolutely. You have to have ambitions. I don't see anybody who would not want to have an ambition. See, an ambition is nothing but something like, if you don't know you want to go to Florida, you're never going to get there, right? So for me, ambition is just knowing what do you want, where do you want to go. So that is something you have to have. In fact, if you go deep into science like I do, our brain is wired to make ambitions, to make goals. And in fact, that's when the prefrontal cortex gets very excited that, okay, you know what, I have something to achieve. So 100% keep on that. But when you are chasing something, it's like, I'm just behind that thing. It's like an obsession. You don't have to have an obsession for it. You have to make sure that you get there, enjoy the journey, but realize that there's a lot inside of you that you have to do before you reach there. So before you reach to Florida, what are the things you need to do? That's the same thing when it comes to have the success which is inside of you, learn how to unleash it, and then be on that journey.
Was there a personal moment in your life that made you embrace this mindset?
Absolutely. Now, when you're asking me this question and I go back years behind, so I remember in the year of 1996 or 97, when I had again gone back to the United States. And everyone, my friends, my relatives, and everybody was like, oh my goodness, you're in a country of opportunities. Everybody is super successful in America. You're in a country where you're going to reach great heights. And I'm finding myself there struggling despite having the best resources, being in a country that people say is full of opportunities. I'm like, where is it? And then around me, I was looking at people in the workforce. And there were people struggling to get to the next level. They were working hard, having the degrees, having the skills, and still being stuck where they are. And that's the moment when I realized, and why are they stuck? That's the moment I realized, why are they stuck? I'm stuck because of my boss. I'm stuck because the environment is not good. I am stuck because the salary is not good. The work culture is not nice. The economy of America is failing. Every time people were blaming the outside circumstances, and I'm there sitting, how can your boss be responsible for your success or failure? And if that is the case, when you were hired in a company, did you, during the interview, ask who is going to be my boss? Where am I going to reach? Do you have the proper resources? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's the point we said, you know what? Hire me. I have everything in me to give out there. I can do the best. Just give me an opportunity and see what I can do. That's the confidence with which we enter. Then where does it fade away? Where has it gone? From where did your boss, your culture, everything become so important that you started to feel that, everything is out there.
Yep.
And that's what made me realize that we are on the wrong direction when it comes to achieving our career goals and achieving what we want in our career and business. So that was for me, in fact, that shaped my entire coaching. That got to be known as Success Within. That shaped my entire work. And I think everyone who is out there, we need to realize that whatever success we want is not out there. You have to work inwards to get it outwards.
Very well said, sir. You coach some of the finest leaders in the world. You coach professionals. Professionals, leaders are chasing results. How do you shift the mindset to this mantra for those people?
I think everyone out there in the corporate and business world is known for their results. And that is something we have to admit to ourselves. We are going to be known for our results. And that should be the case. However, when we are talking about people who want to achieve, they are the high achievers, performers, there are two types. One, who are full of anxiety. I want to get there. I just want to get there, come what may, at the cost of my family, the sleep, my health. I just want to get there. Right? But then there is another whole bunch of people who I work with who are not just full of anxiety. They have the credentials, they have functional expertise, and they have all the knowledge and know-how of what they have to do. And these are the people in the company you will see, Sunny, they are always in the mid-level. Always working hard, giving their best, getting the results, meeting the deadlines, perfect performance appraisals, everything going well. But when they come to me for coaching, They are stuck. They have 20 years of experience, 15 years of experience, 21 years of experience. Why are you where you are? Why have you not grown? In 21 years, you're coming back and telling me I am stuck. So what was these 21 years about? So for me, it doesn't matter the number of years that come on your resume when you come for coaching. The reason they are stuck and the reason that they need to shift that mindset is, I know my work very well, but I am not visible. So they are not visible, they lack the presence, they have no hold on the industry, they are not able to communicate with the upper management, they have so much of fear inside of them, they lack the presence, they lack the branding that they need, there is no one talking about them, they're just working 9 to 5, 9 to 6, taking the work home and going. And what are they achieving? So that shift which I'm bringing in their mindset is on 3 levels. Number 1, you have to really, really know how to lead yourself. Without that, the game is not going to move ahead. Second, it's time to bring about a shift in your thinking. The way you think and the way your upper management and board members are thinking, 360-degree difference, complete. And I see it in the boardrooms every day. And number 3 is, how quickly are you changing your behaviors in this zone of AI industries? You have to work on these things. You cannot say, I am doing everything, and yet I am passed on for promotion. Then you're like me, how I was years back, right? So,
about your new book, Make It to the Top, what inspired you to write on this subject? And how does this still relate to this mantra of don't chase success?
That's the 4th book that has come out very recently, Make It to the Top. And the reason I wrote that book is because I have been seeing, with 18 years of coaching, speaking at different industries, speaking across the globe, I can tell you this, Sunny, everyone is just going ahead in their career life. Nowadays, there is this idea of romanticizing with entrepreneurship, where everybody wants to go and start their own business without knowing exactly what are the ins and outs of it. People are excited to get into the corporate world. Freshers are coming up. We have the Gen Z, we have the Alpha generation, which is coming up now, which we are working with. Everyone is super excited. I want to get there. I want to get there. Once they are in there, it's the same damn story again. I'm stuck. And why they are stuck is, we don't use our powers. This entire book is written based on the powers we have, both internal and external. Now, when we talk about internal powers, we all know what they look like, the confidence, the attitude, everything, our narrative and everything. And then there are external powers, power of your chair, power of your position, power of corporate politics. Where are you using them? We are all just shying away from them. And then we are asking each other, why am I not being successful? Why am I just behind here? We are not realizing that the powers we have, both internal and external, we're absolutely not tapping into it. And so this entire book I have written with the concept that everybody wants promotions. Everybody wants to raise, maybe not hierarchy, but everyone wants to grow in some way or the other, monetary, knowledge-wise, everything. What are you doing about it? You're just building your skills, doing one certification to another certification. Use your powers. There are 2 types of powers. Again, I repeat, internal and external. You have to know how to tap your powers. Without that, the game is at 0 again for you.
Is there a chapter in your book that talks about leaders struggling in silence?
Yes, there is. 2 of them, in fact. One is how leaders know exactly where they want to reach. I want to reach up there. Whatever the top means for you, doesn't matter. But here they are, where their narratives are all negative from inside. For example, I'll give you an example. There are people who come to me during the coaching and they would be like, Payal, I want to connect and influence my upper management. It's so difficult. What are the ways? No, there is no way out there. The reason, first you need to go to the root. The reason you are not able to connect with their upper management, the reason you are not able to go out and play big is because inside of you, the narrative is, what will he or she think? Am I okay? Am I perfect in doing this? Am I up to their level? That narrative is getting you stuck. Now, you can read hundreds of books on it. You can go on Google, ChatGPT, and say, how should I do it? You will get all the methods. But let me tell you something. The day that CEO or that upper senior leader comes in front of you, you're mute again. Because your narrative has not changed. So the leaders are struggling. One of the chapters in that is bet on yourself. We just don't bet on ourselves. We are betting on everybody. We are betting on every damn thing. We are giving a chance to everybody in the world except your own self. So where is that taking you? Nowhere. It is only telling you, play small. And that's where we are getting stuck. So unless you don't know how to change the narrative inside of you, you're going to be the same person, achieving the same results, and then questioning everybody around you. Why am I not succeeding? It's so unfair. Nobody's doing anything. We need to stop blaming outside and need to take charge of our own career. So that's one. And the second one that totally resonates is it's not lonely at the top. We always say it's lonely at the top. It's not lonely at the top. It's lonely all the way to the top. Because as you keep moving ahead, you're going to make yourself more better. You're going to work on yourself. And that's going to take away some people from you. It's going to take away some friends from you. It's going to take away some of the colleagues from you. The question is, are you ready for it? Are you really ready to take that journey all alone? So those are the two chapters which I really resonate very closely with.
You're talking with a lot of passion as an author, obviously, that resonates in your narration as well. Where can people buy this book? Is it on Amazon? Are any other options where people can go and
Absolutely. It's available on Amazon worldwide. And it's also available on my website, especially for people in India. It is available at a discounted rate, like a signed copy. So they can go on the website and buy it also.
And we'll put the link to your website in our description of the video. So let's move on to another aspect. While you say leadership starts from within, what does the inner leadership mean to you? And how can anyone build it from within?
That's very true, Sunny, what you're saying, that leadership is, and I always write in my books that leadership is an inside game. And you cannot win this game if you don't know how to play it internally well first. Most of us are externals, right? Because that's the culture in which we are, where there is complete focus on, like I said, the results. And the results are important, of course. It's not that you're not going to achieve. Leaders are known for their results. In the corporate and business world, you are known for what you're achieving completely. However, when I say that leadership is an inside game, it's clearly like, I would say there are two yous inside of you, right? So there is a small you who is always afraid, who is always playing small, who has doubts, who is the one with imposter syndrome. And then there's a big you inside of you who wants to go out there, has the confidence and, wants to say those stuff out in the meetings, wants to share their opinions, wants to connect with the people higher ups and really, really give their best. Now, between these two yous, you have to see which one are you feeding. Most of us, we are feeding the smaller you. We are full of doubts and then we'll feed the doubt more. Or are you giving faith to yourself? Are you giving confidence to yourself, right? Now, if you're not doing that, you're going to land up being like one of my clients. And I'll give you an example without naming anyone, where once when I was coaching him, he suddenly one day came and told me, you know what, Payal, I'm going to leave this company. And I said, why? What happened? And he was like, you know what, we were in a Zoom meeting, all of us, and I was there with my team in the room, and my CEO was connected on the Zoom meeting with me, with the external CEOs and stakeholders. And I was trying to make sense with some of the shifts that we have to do from hardware to software as a company. And he said, all of a sudden, when I was trying to reason out with this person, with the CEO and the stakeholders regarding finance, because my client is from the finance background, he said, all of a sudden, the CEO muted me in front of everyone. And I felt totally insulted. I just shut my laptop and I walked out. I am never going to return back there. I said, so what are you going to do? Oh, he said, I'm going to apply in another job. You know me, Payal. Any company would want a person like me. I said, absolutely. Of course, you are of that stature. I said, but are you definitely going to move on? He said, of course. Why would I stay here? I said, that's not my question. of moving on. I said, my thing is, you are going to leave this company and go to a next company, and it's a matter of time that something will happen there. And what are you going to do? You're going to go to another company and another. And this is something all of us do. Everybody. When something happens in our organization, we are just quick to make a decision and say, let's go to the other company. Of course, we are in an age of opportunities, information. There is no lack of opportunities. At the end of the game, when your career life is almost going to get over and you look back, you know what you're going to tell yourself? I wish I had stayed where I was and built myself rather than just hopping on. Because at the end of it all, I was in search. In search of what? That good boss, that good company, that good work environment, that good salary. It's like a web we are all trapped in. And because we are trapped in that web, we feel it's out there. Some company is going to do it. It's like finding that perfect spouse. And who has found it? Nobody has that. So you make adjustments with your spouse. You make sure it runs well, your marriage. You make sure that everything goes well. And then when at the end of it, you say, I'm so glad we made it till the end. It's the same thing in our corporate life and in our career life. Have to know how to make it till the end, feeling completely fulfilled. And for that, your inner game is more important than the outer game.
Very well said. Why do you think so many professionals in today's world ignore their inner work?
Because of the culture in which we are. Look at the way we are moving so quickly, so fast. Where is the time? Everyone is like, oh, what did you achieve? What did you get? We are building AI without building ourselves. We are investing more on making sure that AI understands everything. How should we put emotions and everything? How do AIs control their emotions without we being able to control our own? Today, the reason why you are, or anybody, or my client was wanting to leave the company is because you don't know how to manage your emotion and manage that situation. There is going to be undeniably problems in your company, in your career life. The moment you enter the workforce, small company, big company, you start your own business, you are going to face problems, period. You just name the problem and it's going to be around you. Now, how are you handling that is very important. So, in a culture where we are consistently running, the ones who I work with and who are super, super successful are the ones who are working on themselves more than they are putting out over there. That's what is needed. And that's the reason why we are not doing this. There is no time. We don't want to give time to ourselves. Absolutely.
In today's high pressure environment and high pressure roles, how do people balance ambition with presence?
You have to give time to yourself, Sunny. I work with so many CEOs, I work with so many execs coaching them, mid-level managers, and I just ask them a simple question. Tell me about your day. In fact, if I was to ask you, tell me about your day, I can almost promise all of us would be like, I get up in the morning, I get to my work, I look at my emails, we're in a global world that we are working in. Payal, where is the time for myself? I'll take out somewhere 30 minutes. No. You are the one who is creating the future. You're the one who wants to reach to the top. You're the one who wants to make things happen in your life. Then if you're not pausing and giving time to yourself and then blaming everybody around, it's not going to work. So if you really want to balance things out, you have to do two things. And I'll be very honest here. I learned these two things a lot from my husband. Whenever I used to come home, he used to tell me, keep the pressure out of the room, out of that door when you enter home. No bringing it to the kids, no bringing it home. And I think somewhere that really taught me, when I come home, everything else is outside the door. I don't bring work home as such. And I see him, he's in a high pressure environment, in a high pressure position. And I see the way he handles it, right? So that is one thing you learn from everybody. So I learned that from him. And the second thing I learned from my dad, which I write a lot in all of my books about him, you give your best. There is nothing but the best. Nothing means nothing. And you define what the best is. Don't let others decide that for you. And at the end of the day, just leave it. So I have this thing that At the end of the day, however high pressure environment, I'm working with these CEOs across the globe. So it's a very high demanding job to change their behaviors and to change them as individuals and make them work on themselves. When I come home at the end of the day, before sleeping, I only ask myself one question. Did I do the best and hand it to the Lord and say, thank you? And I will be back again tomorrow, hopefully to do something better in the world.
Those are the daily practices that can help you be centered.
Yeah, they are daily practices. You have some routines in your life. Routines are very important, Sunny, very important.
You've been in this industry for over 20 years. You've been in different roles, part of the corporate world, now coaching people around it. What's that one lesson from your experience of over 2 decades that you would like to preach to every young aspiring professional out there?
I would say make sure you're not dependent on motivation.
Not dependent on motivation. That's
motivation is a very extrinsic element. You need someone to all the time. You have to listen to someone and say, you know what? They motivated me. So now you feel that rush and your, prefrontal cortex feels, it's just not this. I can go out there and achieve everything in the world, right? And after a few days, what happens? It just fizzles out. Why? Because there is a part of your brain where it's called the amygdala, where all these emotions are playing. Self-doubt, confidence, happiness, joy, sadness, imposter syndrome, everything is in that area. And I can tell you, Sunny, science has proven this. If you cannot cut this thought in 17 seconds, it goes into a snowball effect. And that's where procrastination comes in. That's when self-doubt keeps going on. And you're just sitting on your chair and saying, it's not me. मेरे बस की तो बात है ही नहीं ये मैं तो बिल्कुल नहीं कर सकती हूँ ये तो कोई और they are lucky उनसे तो हो ही जाएगा उनके पास सब कुछ है no you didn't know how to manage your own narrative in 17 seconds so don't rely on motivation rely on discipline. My 5th book is on the way to write, right? I don't have any motivation that someone comes and tells me, why don't you write it? It's a discipline of waking up in the morning at 4:30 every single day to write one page, just one page. So focus more on discipline in an environment where everything is moving quickly, where we are in an age of Insta. All the new generation of workforce which is coming in wants it quick. Let me tell you, it's not going to happen quick. And if it does happen quick, if you go up quick, you're going to come down quick too. So it's that simple.
Do you believe today's definition of success is different than what it was 10 years ago?
Yes, very much. I think today's success comes with a purpose. People want to work with a purpose. Yeah. People want that they should give something back in the society also. Years back, it was more of what's in it for me. Most of the business tycoons, most of the people used to want money for themselves, for their families, Now I see a new generation of workforce coming in that says, tell me my purpose. What can I do better? Right? So I think that definition of success should go on for years to come now.
I'm asking this on behalf of my audience. I think a lot of people listening to our podcast today would have this question in their heart. There are a lot of people out there who believe they're doing everything right, are still not able to achieve much in life or meet success. What would be your advice for such people?
You're right, Sunny. I think everybody, like you said, works hard. I don't see people not working hard. I don't see people not wanting to get there. But the one thing that I would say, the reason where people are stuck is because there is a 20-80 rule. Your 20% of your success is because of your skills, only 20%. And 80% is because of the person behind the skill, which is you. The view from the top is very different. When I'm in boardrooms, I have never seen anyone tell me, I am promoting this person, Payal, because wow, look at the skills, look at the credentials, how hard they are working. In fact, they are the last ones to be promoted. I'm hearing in the boardrooms, I want to promote this person because he or she has what I want. And that is something very internalized. So work on yourself a lot. In fact, all my coachings throughout the world, Sunny, I don't think I have ever taught anybody how to work on their skills. 20%, I know you will take care. Come to me for the 80% that can change your game, that can change your career life forever. So concentrate on that.
Is there a myth about success that you want to debunk today?
Yes, absolutely. I would love to. Something which is very, very close to my heart, that success never discriminates between a man or a woman. Never. Success only sees, are you a person who is committed and interested and willing to cross every obstacle that you have? Because when it comes to success and when it comes to obstacles, a man and a woman both have obstacles. They are just named differently. But each of us has our own obstacles. Now, if you're going to give it a gender, oh, this is because I'm a woman or this is because I'm a man, it doesn't work. Success is not interested in your gender. It is only interested, are you willing to cross that obstacle that universe has given you, come what may? So don't believe that you can be successful gender-wise or country. A particular country will make me successful. Absolutely not. Success is within you forever. You have to know how to unleash it and build those strategies to reach there.
This has been a beautiful conversation. I think a lot of takeaways. Your work, your voice, your clarity makes me believe, and I'm sure by that virtue makes a lot of us believe that let us not chase success from outside. Let us first chase it from within us.
Absolutely.
I think that's a big learning from this episode. May you continue to inspire a lot of people. I wish you nothing but a lot of success. Like all of your other books, may this be a blockbuster as well.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for spending time with me today on this show and inspiring all of us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sunny. I must say you are a powerhouse of inspiration yourself. The amount of things you do, the amount of summits and everything you put out there for the people speaks volumes about you. So thank you so much for putting something like this together for the audience.
Thank you so much.
Love
Pleasure is
you
all
all.
mine.
Thank you.
And everybody out there, guys, stop chasing and start becoming is the message from Payal for all of us. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure you do so I can keep bringing such inspiring stories to you every single time. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.